P&G to Amazon, Alice Antoniazzi has built a career at the forefront of strategic vision and AI-powered transformation, becoming a key force in how global enterprises scale in the digital era. At AWS, she turns vision into impact, unlocking major transformation across EMEA.
Amazon is a corporate as well. No, it's a large company, but still, it's like a big startup in the end.
A lot of people still don't get it how difficult it was for companies to operate during COVID. The difficult part is to find efficiency through the supply chain.
I am Santiago Naranjo, passionate about business and Chief Revenue Officer at VTEX. In this podcast, we talk about what is truly changing the game and the strategy behind global transformation.
If you keep that curiosity, it really helps you have a flexibility.
So, Alice, can you tell us a little bit about your background,
Yes.
about who you are? We have a lot of people that get inspired by these stories, people like you, so it will be amazing if you can share us a little bit about who you are and your background.
Of course, with pleasure. So my name is Alice. I was born and raised in Italy, but I moved very early to Germany and then to Switzerland. So I spent basically the first 10 years of my career and did university there. And I come from a very different background because I studied business and I worked in business for 8 years. So I'm not like a typical tech person, right? I come from the other side. And it was a great school and I learned a lot. And at some point I was ready for a change, like the pace of large corporates was a bit too slow. And I was trying to introduce like entrepreneurial ideas and projects. And there was a bit of pushback. The culture, is very hierarchical. And it was a bit, not my space anymore. It was for some time and then I needed a change. So I pursued my MBA in Milano.
Wow.
And after that, I had the opportunity to jump to a new industry, obviously tech, and I started at AWS 5 years ago. And
5 years now.
5 years now. And I started in a very difficult time because it was during COVID. So I started fully remotely, did not meet my team until I think I was 2 years in the company. So very special
Seriously,
time.
I think, I don't know, it was a protect mentality or our brain that tried to protect us, but a lot of people still don't get it how difficult it was for companies to operate during
Yes.
COVID. I just we moved, we have COVID, we operate one way, then we don't have COVID, we operate another one, and now it's like hybrid. And we have like a autopilot, and people believe that this is so easy, but it's not. Every transition, even more this type of transition, because they are human and cultural transition that involve family, everything. So
Everything. And starting new in a company during COVID is also a big challenge,
Yeah.
You don't know the culture, you don't get to experience the people firsthand. It's very different. I think Amazon did it in a great way in the sense that, we had the chance to have like virtual coffees with new joiners, virtual. So even in the virtual world, we had the chance to connect with different people and create a network, but it was not easy. It was actually very tough, right? And teams, I always started, from the start, I always worked in for EMEA, so on a, like regional scale. So I didn't have any colleagues in Milan that I could even meet, like once in a while. Everyone was scattered around the region. So also in terms of like knowledge sharing, it was, it needed some time. But then it worked really, really well for me. It was especially difficult because not coming from the industry, it took a bit of longer time, but it was a good investment in the end. And, I think starting in a time of such a challenge and noticing what technology can do in the COVID world, enabling small businesses to work, completely remotely, to take advantage of some of the government funds that were around to, basically
Keep moving the
transform
economy.
digitally, exactly, at a faster pace. So I saw also the opportunity behind this, much more probably that I would have seen from, the consumer goods arena. And I saw the impact that, technology can have in such a time so fast. And I think also one of the reasons why I stayed and I pursued and I'm where I am today. So that was a nice experience.
Totally. One of the biggest challenge that any human can have is to be the responsible to enable other companies during COVID to maintain their economy and their
Yes.
businesses and their employee, because everybody was like desperate to guarantee that we were able to supply the food, the medicine, everything.
Absolutely. The basics.
So I cannot imagine how hard was this for you. And then you enter on Amazon. Can you tell us a little bit about this transition coming
Yes.
from a more corporate to a more techy organization? How is
And I mean, Amazon is a corporate as well, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a large company, but still you breathe a different air. It's more, it's like a big startup in the end. And this is true at AWS and in other business because I get to work with other business units as well, right? Like with Amazon Ads or Amazon Retail. Sometimes with our customers, we have, like a footprint in from different business units.
Yeah.
And that's nice. And I see in every business units there's this culture that's consistent and it's really about this failing, learning fast, being customer obsessed. So what I have to say, customer obsession, customer centricity, that's something that Amazon puts as the mission, right? To be the most customer centric company on earth. And I think every company wants to be that and states that they are,
Yeah.
right? A customer centric company. But I must admit, it's not just like written on a wall or written, on the backside of the badge. It's really something that we live daily and I experience with our customers daily. And that's, for me, it was eye opening. You always start from there. Sometimes in other companies, and it's not only P&G, but also other companies I work for, you start from how do I grow revenue? How do I save costs? That's kind of like the goal you have. And here, every time we start speaking about, opportunities, it's really about trying to solve a customer problem. And this is really like a mindset shift that I noticed starting working at Amazon. And also the nice part about Amazon, I find, is you don't have a lot of hierarchy. Okay. So it's quite flat. And also if you need something and somebody does not respond, so you need to go to the higher level, like escalation is not seen as a bad thing. It's a way to make things faster, move them so that you can, at the end of the day, solve the customer problem in a speedy way.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's accepted and it's something that I enjoy. So you're not blocked, you're not slow because you need one approval, another approval, but it's quite fast. And if you're blocked, you can escalate and that helps a lot. So these are things that I really enjoy and I see the advantage of them in my daily work also because they help us earn the trust of our customers.
Where are you based now?
I'm based in Milan.
In Milan. And how is for a professional like you to operate different countries, languages, I think time zones also? How is this challenge? It's not easy one. It is not the standard.
It's not easy. So my team is distributed across EMEA. So it's good that I have, like people sitting in the different countries. So they know the language, they know the culture, and it helps for sure a lot. And of course, every country has their challenges. But at the end of the day, there are similarities across these countries, I find, especially also in the retail and consumer goods world. I would say that the challenges are almost the same everywhere. It's crazy. Like, if you think about it, though, it really is like that, right? It's about improving the customer experience across all different touch points.
Mhm.
Of course, the customers are different. I have that also because covering, retail, consumer goods. If you think about retail, it's e-commerce, fashion, it's also different segments. So, yeah, there are differences across the countries and also differences across the segments. But at the end of the day, like big, theme is customer experience and how to improve that and how obviously technology can enable that. And I would say at the foundation of that is everything related to supply chain. Because of course, you cannot improve the customer experience, offer and recommend a new product to a customer, or, like cross-sell, upsell, and then the product is not available, right? So it's really for me about the customer experience across, but like the backbone is that supply chain that needs to be end-to-end visibility, everything that we need to.
And I think the big challenge that all software companies have, you need to deliver something new
Yeah.
every time, like Amazon, like Apple, like, you need to ship something new every year, but at the same time, you need to guarantee like a seamless onboarding of the new technology.
Yes.
You need to guarantee quality assurance to avoid launching new features that break the whole experience and to avoid losing reputation. And then to be able to generally generate value and not just pushing new products, like trying to achieve a quota. And when you are trying to solve the challenge of a client, normally it's not just about a quota, it's to really finding technology to enable them. And
Yes.
I am a client of AWS for the last 10 years, and I can truly say that we have found this on AWS. We are one big client of you guys, and we cannot tell how happy we are about our partnership. AWS enable us to grow not only Latin America, but also in United States, in Europe, now Middle East. So I can tell you that I have seen this culture from the first side. I can see this in every interaction that I will have with a professional of AWS. We feel that, AWS want to help us to grow, want to help us to be more efficient, want to help us to solve problems from our clients, even though we know that nobody's perfect. And the relationship that you want to have is trust. And when you have this DNA that Amazon have, I cannot be prouder to have a strong partnership with AWS. I think I am talking in the name of a lot of VTEXers here.
Thank you. And I think we share that DNA in the end of the day, because I think our values are very aligned, and this is how we also jointly go to market to our customers, right? With aligned values, this DNA that we share. And only like this, at the end of the day, we can ensure that our customers are satisfied. So I can only give it back to you.
How do you imagine the future for retailers, for commerce operation, informed by AI? I think we are aligned that AI is arriving to make a huge disruption.
Yes.
It is changing, I think, more than we could even imagine. How do you see this impacting? What is your opinion?
Yes, and I think you said something very important when you were talking about the value we bring, right, to the business, and not just like selling the next, candy, the next technology, the next solution. This is not the way to do it, right? And this is also, I think, what makes us different, as you said. And also, I think in the age of AI, that will remain the mantra. Come and start from the business problem. What's the problem? How can we find a solution enabled by technology? And by the way, lots of times I talk to customers, to executives from the business, especially, and they think everything can be solved with AI. And oftentimes, what I see is that their business problem can be solved with something else. So I think we need to be very also, earn trust, as you said before, in this area as well. There are things where AI can really make a big difference and bring value. And other things, if we understand and crystallize what the business problem is, work backwards from it, maybe AI is not the solution. So I think also there we need to guide our customers and help them, because in a moment when everything is AI, okay, they need a bit of help also sometimes, right? To assess if it's the right use case or not.
I think the companies, at least, I don't know, at least in the next 15 years, that we are going to have one part of the reality will be that we have a really good technology. Other part will be like buzzword and just like a lot of smoke. The companies will need someone that can trust to understand what is real technology that generate value.
Yes.
And how they use this inside their business model to deliver value for their own customers and avoid just making presentation from the board or saying, yes, we are doing AI. No, what we want to do is better products and more efficient for our customer. AI is just to a tool to enable.
Perfectly aligned, yes. And how many times this happens, right? That I talk to, especially again, it's either CIOs or CTOs that come to me and say, our CEO allocated this much budget to AI. What should I do? And I'm like, okay, let's
Okay.
understand like what's your vision? What do you want to achieve as a company? You want to, I don't know, grow different markets, or you want to, target a different audience. So, we need to really understand it's not for the sake of implementing AI. Like, let's, implement the chatbot. Why?
Wow.
Okay. So a lot of times I think I see that. And that's why I think it's really important to keep in mind what you said, always driving value for the business. So I think that's for the future, the mantra. And then there's so many things that I see happening in obviously retail and CPG with AI. So fun fact, I came back from maternity leave a month ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I was gone 6 months. And when when I left, okay, Agentic was not there yet.
No.
So
Was not a word. Was not a word.
and I come back and suddenly Agentic AI is there, right? Okay, obviously I try to read once in a while things about also my work while I was gone, but still, imagine in 6 months, and this gives you a feeling of the pace, right? Of change, how accelerated it is. So we also need to keep that pace. It's also important to learn, be curious, always, be at the forefront because that changes so fast. I think for us, it's we talked about customer experience and supply chain. These are for me like the two big areas. Customer experience across, right? So for retailers and CPG, before buying, there are so many things that can happen and that AI can help improve, right? Content generation, description of products, marketing campaign optimization. And we have a lot, of use cases that we see being implemented by customers. And Amazon is also working on some of those, right? Like Rufus, you probably heard, it was just like in the latest earning call. It's a huge success, right? With 250 million active users.
Wow.
It's impressive. We're experimenting in the second phase, which is the buying phase, buy for me. Also interesting feature on Amazon.com. So if the product is not available on Amazon, you redirect it to an external site.
That
So
is
something
clever.
yeah. So
That is good.
it's new things we're testing, but again, also on the basics, the brick and mortar in the store, there's so much that AI can help store associates with, like clienteling once, or just being able to collect feedback from customers on products, but even on the, how loud the music is in the store and play it back to the organization so that it can, take up an informed next step to improve the customer experience. So I think a lot of things we can do also in the buying phase, and also, of course, in the last phase, which is this post-purchase, no? How to retarget, personalize the offers, and also there, I think, Amazon is known for that, also in terms of, like product recommendation
Yes.
from people buying. So that's one level. And then supply chain, for me, it's fundamental, right? What AI can do can help automate, it can help reduce out of stocks, it can help forecast, predict. It's really revolutionizing the way you see supply chain end to end, which then again, as I was telling you, is for me the foundation for everything else, right? Because you can try to sell a product, resell it, sell a better one, but it needs to be available.
And I think everybody is looking for efficiency, and you can find a lot of efficiency cutting some services for the customer because it's easy and obvious, but this is not what we want. We want to give an amazing customer service experience for the customer. The difficult part is to find efficiency through the supply chain, but then is the way that you go from the roots to impact the cost of your product because you are able to reduce the capex, you are able to simplify logistic costs that normally are 7 to 10% of the P&L of a retailer. So how to simplify your capex structure, how you simplify the logistic, how you pay or have less inventory just waiting for or over stocking your inventory. This type of challenges, I think, are the hardcore of that AI can solve. That literally is millions of touch points and data that if you have, I don't know, thousands of stores, thousands of warehouses, different factories, then a good machine learning or AI can help you to
Absolutely.
operate in an efficient way.
Very important. Save costs, but also like, waste less. It's also a big point, right?
That is a good point.
Product, but also energy. I mean, yeah, absolutely. There's so many areas that it can help with.
I love these two concepts. How was this process of doing a decision on career, maternity, family?
Mhm.
Which advice you can share with the women that are seeing you that I see all the time? Women on my team always say, I want to do this, but I don't want to postpone my career. This is something that is on the table normally. Can you share us a little bit about your experience? Any advice that you want to share to all the women seeing us?
Pleasure, with pleasure. And then I think also disclaimer: every choice and every path is different. So, and honestly, when I started thinking about having a family, like what I had in mind was not what I'm living today. So
Yeah.
it's also like managing expectation. It's okay to have a plan, and then you need to be flexible on the details, I think. So for me, it was always a must, or something I wished for, right? To have a family and to have kids. And it happened a bit later than I was expecting, to be honest, which gave me, on the other hand, see, everything has a pro and con, and gave me more time to focus on my career. I was also very lucky because when I had my first one, I was promoted while I was on maternity leave. Okay.
Wow.
And on my second, I got this new role, expanded role, as I returned from my second maternity leave. So I have to say, I was also very lucky to be empowered and supported by my team and my manager in such a situation. Okay. To still don't have to choose, right? Of course, we had discussions when I came back, before coming back, is that something you want, the expanded scope? And we talked about this. But again, great opportunity. Okay. I know it's not always like that, because I have friends, and from my personal life, I can tell you it's not always like that. So lucky to have had that. And how I approached it? I was very, very open about it. Like, I started my first maternity leave and I said, I think I'm going to stay out for this and this amount of time. But I hope to have the flexibility to see if that's what I need and my baby needs and my family needs, right? So I started with an idea. It turned out that I wanted to go back much faster. So I don't know if this is a good example, but I really needed it. I felt like,
each path is different.
it's different. And I was home, and I felt like I had to go back. And it really gives me so much energy to work and travel the world and meet, people like you today. And I think I'm a better mother by doing this. Of course, if you make this choice, you need to be very organized at home, and you need to have a partner that supports you. So my husband works as well. He's an entrepreneur. He works in innovation too. And we try to, like, make it work and find support when we need it. I think you need to plan and be organized, but then it works. And the kids understand it. I feel mine are very small. They're 7 months and 2 years. So I hope they understand it. But
For sure.
when I go and come back, it's never like a big drama. So it doesn't feel like it's a stretch right now. And it's not a stretch for my job and not a stretch for my family. And I guess that's how it should feel, right? And the moment it's going to be unbalanced, I will raise my hand both at home and at work and try to work on a solution.
That is an amazing advice.
I hope.
It is a very important topic. And it's important to speak up about this, to make people feel comfortable about this. I always try to say to my team. Second question: what will be the tool of AI or technology that you would love to have when you were a kid,
Hmm.
and why?
AI for sure. So everything that's like, when I went to school, I don't know if you have the same, in Latin America. I was going to a school where we learned ancient languages. So
Mhm.
Latin and ancient Greek. So
I
thinking about AI today and how that could have helped me, I think a lot could have been done, right? And like translations, summaries, and all of that, freeing up a lot of time for value adding activities like hanging out with friends, going out with friends. So, no, that for sure is something that would have helped. I think, honestly, AI, even now, not like going back to when I was a kid, a few years ago, it would have helped me so much. It just frees up so much time to do things you love. Isn't it amazing?
yeah.
I mean, that technology can do that. And things we love include, like family, for example,
Yeah.
that kind of flexibility. Last minute, you have a meeting, the last meeting in the evening, until 6 p.m., and you don't have to be there and write a summary of that
Yeah.
meeting because technology does it for you.
Yeah.
Think about it. So, yeah, as a kid and teenager, definitely school wise, even though I think they would not allow it today, right, to use it in school. No, but even like, yeah, today, looking back, a few years ago versus today, I think it frees up so much
I
time and
agree with
energy for
you.
great things.
Hearing you, I was just thinking about I needed to learn Hebrew. And I agree with you. I will use AI.
Yes, yes. English, it's a good thing.
It's a
We
good
could not
thing.
sit here today
Yeah.
otherwise. But
I would love to invest
ancient
3 times more learning about English than
right?
Hebrew. Totally.
Agreed. Plus one on that.
Nice. Let's go to 3 easy questions. Food.
Pizza.
That was fast.
That was fast. No doubt about that.
Sport.
Soccer, football, I don't know.
Seriously?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. I've always been to matches when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I just love the atmosphere in the stadium. So
Yeah. The atmosphere,
can't
the
wait.
energy.
The energy,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's can't wait until my boys are a bit bigger, and then I take them to the stadium.
That is amazing. My wife don't want our kid to play soccer. To say no, 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 no. Everybody's in soccer. Let's try a new sport. I say, let's wait for him. He will decide.
Right now tennis is really big in Italy because of Sinner.
Yeah.
So that's another nice sport.
Vacations. Where?
So we are spoiled in Italy because honestly, we have
Everything.
I lived in different places in my life, and living in Milan is so, so amazing because 2 hours you're in the mountains and you can ski. 1 hour you're at the beach, you have the lakes around you, the countryside. So I can't complain. I have to say it's like fantastic to stay in Italy, but no. Otherwise, I always like to. I usually stay in Europe for like short trips. I love like also the London, the capitals in Europe. Madrid, Paris, love them. And otherwise, for longer trips, I was saying I've only been once to South America, to Argentina, so I need to come visit you guys
Please.
next time. Otherwise, Asia, just because of the peace of mind, like the mentality they have, it's like for me true vacation.
That is like
Different.
a dream travel for me. To go with my wife and my kid to I don't know. This is yoga mentality, but to have like a
Yes.
peace of mind,
Yes.
to relax,
It's
feel
a
the
different
energy.
pace. So talking about the pace of technology, that's more fast, and like
Yeah.
this is just slow down, ground yourself. It's beautiful. You need it sometimes to come back more active, more energetic, more creative. You need a break.
Well, we are starting to close the podcast. So I want to give you a space for you to share anything, an advice, a sentence, a message that you want to share with all the people outside that are trying to create a career, that see you as a role model, that see you as a hero, and what you can share, what advice you can share for the people that are trying to grow in their careers, to have a family, to be a mother, to be able to be an amazing professional, an amazing wife, amazing friend. It is not easy, so please.
Not easy. For me, I think it's about being curious always. If you keep that curiosity, it really helps you have a flexibility. So if you're curious, you're not sticking to one path, right? You learn new things and maybe you become interesting into something else and then your path, takes a turn. So curiosity for me is linked to flexibility. It never goes, I was, saying before also with the experience being a mom, it never goes as you plan, right? So if you keep that mind open, if you keep on learning, being curious, that really helps you find your path. Because sometimes your path is something that you're not planning for. But if you keep on seeing different things, learning new things, you might find interests that you didn't even, think were possible for you. So for me, it's really this and about like more the private life and the balance on that. It's being very open and transparent in communication. I think it's true in your job for sure, but it starts at home and it starts with the people you love. Just share what are your concerns, what are your fears with the people you love. Sometimes people are afraid to open up. Like I'm opening up with you, we didn't even know each other. No, but I'm someone, it's better to be open and share,
Yeah.
some of the things that worry us, because together we'll find the solution. If you keep it for yourself, you'll never find a solution. And then again, sometimes, people, when you open up, give you advice and lead you to things that also were not imaginable for you. So for me, it's really like keep your mind open and don't be afraid to share good things, but also bad things, because it really helps you, gives you the confidence also to take a step in a different direction. So does it make sense?
That was deep. I fully align with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope that we have thousands of meetings in the future with our ecosystem and our clients, and we can continue working on the future of commerce and technology and AI in Europe and the world.
Yes.
So let's try to make it happen. Thank you so much for coming,
Thank you.
for
Thank you
sharing,
for having me.
for opening your heart for all of us, and hope to see you soon.
See you very soon. Thank you. Thanks for having me.